Hello YouTube. This is Mike of Mike's Trainz. So I was making this video to show a new section of my route. Actually, it's not a new section, it's an old section of my route, but it's a section that I just remade because it was one of the first sections of my route that I had built. So, I made it when I originally made it when I knew the least about making routes and about scenery and doing everything in Trainz, and I was not satisfied with it, as time went by, so I erased the whole section and I decided to remake it, and I ended up making a lot of a little bit of a farm agricultural kind of scene. Usually a lot of my areas on my route are along the river, so I don't have as many of these kind of scenes because a lot of times it's just the river and the mountainsides, and that's pretty easy as far as building a longer sections of route in a short time. There's not as much scenery work, but I wanted to have a section where there was a little bit of space between the tracks and the river, and we could have some little farms and a little bit bigger area, a little more detailed scenery things in this area. And also I wanted to show some of the assets that I'm using a little bit, I guess, and how I've I don't know, I guess some new things I've discovered, or how my ideas have evolved a little bit. I think probably the thing that's helped the most here in just the last couple months was downloading jointed rails two routes, the Legacy of BN2 and also the Coal Country. And the main reason I wanted to get those routes was because I wanted those assets they had, and I wanted new ideas. They had, see what textures they were using, what trees they were using, what roads they were using. So since I got those two routes, I've changed my mind about the roads I wanted to use. I like the roads from, one of the main roads from BN Legacy of BN2, which you can see right down here. The main dashed line road, that's from Legacy BN2. This plain road over here is from Coal Country. This one here might be from Coal Country too. I'm not sure if it's from that or it's from Legacy of BN2. I don't think it was separate from those though. So also we can see things like this tree that I'm using everywhere as one of my basic low detail background trees. That's also from Legacy of BN2. This one over here that you see a lot, this reddish tree right here, that's also from Legacy of BN2. A lot of the textures are from Legacy of BN2. Now these trees here, I think I actually had already downloaded a lot of these particular sets of trees from the download station, but they were also used in Coal Country. If you saw some of my older videos, you can see in the older videos I had the kind of basic, I guess they're called speed trees, like you saw in the CNO Hinton division, which comes with Tane. So I had originally used those, but then I finally figured those are just take up too much memory, slow the game down. So then I switched to all 2D trees, really low detail background trees, and now I've come back to a little bit of a mix, using some of the high detail trees in the front important areas and keeping all the 2D trees in the background, which of course makes the most sense. So anyway, let me just kind of give you a little overview of this section. What other things that I did here. I started using more of this grass in this section. I really didn't use this particular grass before, but I see it a lot in the Coal Country route, and I've seen it on other people's routes too. So this is the grassy. So I use that, not everywhere, but I use that in this section. Okay, anyway, so let me just give you a little overview of this section. So what I did here, made a nice little agricultural area, and some details I tried to add in this section that I didn't always use before. Some little mailboxes, which looks nice. You know, I think now I've really tried to be careful about putting in all the signs where there should be signs. I just think that really adds a lot. You know, on the road, I love these JR guardrails. I mean, that just looks perfect. It looks really detailed, really perfect. Around the farm type areas, I like these 3-bar fences, a red one and a brownish one. The textures for the actually fields, I think these are from Coal Country. I think they're called Autumn Fields. Autumn Field 1, Autumn Field 2, with some dirt texture mixed in around there. So yeah, I like this barn right here. I think it's called Old Barn. It might be one of Dave Snow's. I'm not 100% sure. It might be one of Dave Snow's though. Let's see what else we got going on here. On Approach Medium's video, I think last week when he was making the shopping area, I think I saw some of the cars he was using, and I'm always looking for new cars, for new, you know, modern, regular cars. So I saw he had these J cars, I guess, kind of made, you know, by a Japanese person for a Japanese route, but they do have some great ones on there. And they had a Camaro, so I got some of those J cars right there. That's one of Dave Snow's Ford F-150s, like that. I like jointed rails, wall-mounted flag there. That looks very Americana there, with the old lady and the dog. I like that. Again, one of the other old barns. Some tractors, same textures for the fields all through this section. Some swings in the yard, makes it look very homey. You know, I put in some detail back here that you can't actually see from the track, so I don't know why I did that, but it looks kind of good. I think this was also one of Dave Snow's new buildings, I think. Bait and tackle shop. Thought that looked good there with a little dock in the back down by the river. Let's see. Wanted to use this horse farm barn, so had to have some horses out here. Those are some from Cook, C-U-K. Those are kind of high detail, nice looking horses with some very low detail horses here in the back. I figure these guys have a big horse farm. They have a little money, so they should have a Range Rover. They ought to be a little rich. I think this, if we go back to this this farm up here, I thought these people might have a little money too, so I gave them a BMW. Of course, you know, my route is set in West Virginia. You're not going to see too many Range Rovers and BMWs around there, but yeah, we can dream. Also, this derelict gas station, BP gas station, this is also from Legacy of BN2. Has a great building I saw, you know, on that route, that came with that route, so I like that. That looks really good in that area. Closed up, boarded up. This one, oh, what is this called? I think this is called the general store or country store. I don't know what it's really supposed to be in this spot, but it just kind of looks good there, I thought. This is one of Dave Snow's farm buildings. There was about 10 or 11 or 12 farm buildings. That's really looks good back there. What else did I do? Put a nice little church up here, a little cemetery. some houses. Didn't need any more detail on the houses because you can't really see it back there. But basically, what I wanted to do in this section was have a little open space instead of having just the two mountain sides and the river and the track, which I do a lot because this is kind of a... Well, I'm actually from Hinton, West Virginia. That's my hometown. So even though the Hinton route is on here, you know, I want to make my own route because that's the fun of it, is building my own route. So I am very... my route is pretty much inspired by the Hinton area. So I mean, you do have the steep river valleys, so most of the area has that without much open space and just the mountainsides and the river. But you know, I wanted some where we have a little open space to see a little in the distance and have some farmland and houses and things like that. And what else in this section? So some more houses here on the hill and this upper road, and a little bigger farm on the side, two separate fields, little road going down the middle, another one. These are both actually Dave Snow's farm buildings here. I don't know if this farm is big enough to have a combine like this. It's probably not. I don't know anything about farming, but I just thought, you know, it looked good. I thought it looked nice. I gave these people a Range Rover also. A lot of rich farmers in this this neck of the woods. And the last thing I put in this section is an extra little dock behind this house down there. Yeah, I'm trying to just make a pretty short video just looking at this small section that I just did. And also, of course, I have some more clips of some trains running on the section, some diesel and more steam. I seem to run more steam these days than diesel, but it just, you know, however the mood strikes me, I suppose. That's the fun of this kind of game, this kind of thing, is you can just enjoy whatever you want to enjoy at the moment. If you feel like seeing some steam trains run, you can run some steam trains. If you feel like driving a diesel, a modern train, you can do that too. Just whatever you feel like at the moment. That's really fun. So I would say I want to show an overview of my total route. I want to show a little bit of everything, but I think I want to make a separate video for that. So that'll just be upcoming. But I'll zoom out here if we can see. Oh, the route that is Three Rivers route. So actually, at the same time I was working on redoing this section, I'm also working out here on the end, the western side of the route, into this new territory right here. And yeah, this is where we're at right now. Now, one new thing I'm doing right here is I'm using, for the first time, instead of using the regular water here, I'm using one of the river splines. Now, I've seen Approach Medium use this on his video, and I think in Coal Country they were using this. So this is the Muddy River spline. Of course, now this obviously is not finished, so but this is going to, we're going to have a lumber industry out here. Actually, I have a small lumber mill back near the section I was showing you, but we're going to have a bigger lumber mill out here, which is going to be a very active industry on this route. So that's all upcoming. But I do want to make a video showing all of my route, so I will get on that soon. I live in South Korea, and we are having a big holiday this week. It's Chuseok, which is like Korean Thanksgiving. So I'm off all this week, so I have a little more time, so maybe I will make that overview video relatively soon. We shall see. But I'll close out here, and like I said, I have a few more clips of some trains running on the route, so you can get a nice look at that. I hope you guys enjoy. Lately, been getting a few more subscribers. I think it's up to, it was up to 178 or something. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. So I hope you guys all enjoy. Talk to you next time.